Welcome to another episode. Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. Am I actually live? Uh-oh. There we go. Yeah. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of TAF Solutions Update. Digital Presence Update. And try that again. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of TAF Solutions Digital Presence Update podcast. This is Joe Wallace right here, ready to roll, giving you all the wonderful news and information that you probably need to know about what's happening when, search and all that wonderful stuff. Basically, search is fracturing Google, ChatGPT, and the new visibility problem. We're going to talk about that today. Okay. And for those that aren't familiar with TAP Solutions, we are a digital presence first company. We consult with local businesses, small to medium size, and of course large if you so desire, to understand how they can be found online in the most cohesive and simple way possible, right? Really to try and understand exactly why it is that we do that is best to just go ahead and look at all the content that talks about why we actually talk about that stuff. We're very passionate about it, and we want you guys to be just as passionate as well, because we don't want you to do things that don't work for you, right? We don't want you to do ads, buy CRMs, do all this stuff unless it has a purpose. That being said, today we're going to talk about how visibility of your business is increasingly a problem. So, for years, if someone asked whether a business was visible online, we had a pretty simple answer. Where do you rank on Google? Do people find you? Are they clicking on your, whatevers? But now that answer is getting a heck of a lot more complicated. You have Google Search, which has a ton of information that you can still use outside of just, or the traditional stuff. It does have some of that still. But inside of all that, we have things like AI overviews, right? And that really, murkies the water quite a bit. Then you have things like AI mode, which definitely murkies the water quite a bit. You have places like ChatGPT, Gemini, Perplexity. Everything requires these different prompts, different reasoning depths, citation behaviors. These things are very, very different than just I put in something, I search for it, I get a bunch of links that take me to, things that might match what it is that I searched for, and that's it. That's not really what happens anymore. Now you have the zero-click stuff, you have zero-click search stuff, you have all this other overview stuff. It really complicates things. And for those that think that that's just stuff on top, that all the same things that you were doing back in the day is going to actually be the same now, that extra layer is just going to take what you've already done and run with it. It's not. It might be a little bit, maybe a tad, but it's a totally different beast. So visibility no longer is no longer one ranking, right? It's a moving collection of surfaces. So today I want to talk about what we're actually learning about AI visibility, right now. And what some of the latest data is telling us. And what that means for businesses trying to stay discoverable. Okay. It's going to be a wild one, guys, so buckle up. We're not in this to scare folks, but we're also not in it to hide stuff from you guys. I want you guys to know that everything I'm about to talk about is very well researched. That being said, do ask questions. This is a live stream. Happy to answer anything you guys might want to have known about anything that I'm referring to. Very, very, very well versed on the subject. So, one of the biggest stories on Search Engine Land reported that ChatGPT accounts for roughly 92% of AI referral traffic in analysis of over 6.7 million sessions. Okay. And if you're not sure what I'm talking about, boom, here you go. Okay. Real interesting stuff. I think, I'm not saying it here, but what's interesting about Search Engine Land, by the way, and I'm bringing up this wonderful thing to say that if you're really interested in finding out whether or not you what certain topics have for you, go ahead and do a search for your favorite topic having to do with AI, and see just how crazy things have really gotten. Okay, so let's get one thing straight first. AI traffic is real, and ChatGPT is clearly dominating a lot of it. However, an earlier benchmark data referrals still account for only over 1% of total website traffic across several industries, right? This is back in November, but it still might be applicable to today. So basically, the referral traffic is very low in terms of the wide bandwidth of it, but there are referrals being made, and that referral accounts for tons and tons of traffic anyway, right? Look, if AI referrals are growing, ChatGPT dominates the category. Traditional search still drives far more traffic, though. But that means that small, medium businesses, they don't need to abandon SEO right away. But they should immediately start tracking AI visibility and AI discovery. It's not, look, AI traffic is not going to be replacing Google. It's not going to right away. But then again, Google has already said that they're going to actually implement agentic AI, and already have to a very large degree, whether you know it or not. Just immediately, they're already doing it. So the switch is happening already, whether you know it or not. Zero-click search is here. It's gonna dominate. So ignoring it would be like ignoring mobile traffic in the early smartphone years. You can ignore it if you want to, but and it may not immediately destroy what you have built. But do you guys think mobile traffic is important nowadays? Very much so, right? Very, very, very much so. So I want to know and ask, are people asking AI about your industry? Right? Does your brand appear when they do so? And what does the AI say about you? That's the questions you need to ask. You know this if the AI is actually citing your website. Does that answer also match reality? You'll know this is happening. And here's where it gets even stranger, right? Appearing in AI is not consistent from one type of AI interaction to another. It's not. And that's on purpose. Look, another recent search engine land coverage of SEMrush and Kevin Indig analysis found that only 25.6% overlap in cited domains. What this means is this may be one of the most important things business owners need to understand about AI visibility, in my opinion. The same question can produce different sources depending on how deeply the AI reasons through the problem. Let me say that again. The same question that you prompt or that somebody asks about can produce different sources depending on how deeply the AI reasons through the problem. Guys, if you have, like, for instance, if you've been using ChatGPT lately, you know that there's an instant version of the in-answer, there's a medium version, and there's a high intelligence version, these medium intelligence and the high intelligence versions. So a shallow answer for an instant might cite familiar sources, but a deeper reasoning path may search more widely. So what that means is that it's doing more research effectively, but it also may be like, well, maybe they're not looking for, the prompt isn't looking for exactly what I think it's looking for, or there's a nuance to it. It's going to understand nuances more the higher the intelligence level in ChatGPT's instance, or the reasoning level. That is the most important part to take away from this. So there is no anybody who's thinking this, there is no way for you to just to be able to do like what you've done with Google in the past and be like, I have put the keywords in and the keywords are working. AI does not give a shit about your keywords. Period. Doesn't care. Right? It's going to look at your keywords and go, yeah. So anyways, your content of your site says this. And the consensus of other people's sites says this. So screw your keywords. That's what it's going to say. It's that simple. All right. So metadata all you want. Keep doing that. Web SEO still exists and it's important. A lot of traffic is driven through this traditional method. But stop counting on your keywords to solve the AI problem. It's not solving it. It's going to make it worse for you because if you don't have the content to back up what AI is looking for, guess what? You're not going to exist. You're not going to be involved in the actual conversation. And that's where we get to the gatekeeping part of what AI does. AI overviews, all that stuff. Look, there's hundreds of businesses out there that serve coffee in your area, probably even, right? I mean, I know I'm in the greater Houston area. We've got hundreds of businesses that sell coffee within a 5-mile radius around me, 10-mile radius around me. It's nuts. If I asked the damn, if I asked AI, what's the best coffee nearby, they're going to give me a list of like 5, maybe 6, whatever. It feels like telling me. Sometimes it'll only give me 2. It just depends on the reasoning depth it goes through, right? That's not every business out there, is it? Those businesses don't exist in its mind. It's going to dismiss the business. You are not on a ranking scale anymore. You're on a context scale. You see? I hope I've hopped on that enough. And why this matters, guys, look, there's, a business owner might test, for instance, best HVAC company near me, right? So you're a business owner, you're an HVAC person. Hey, I'm going to test to see if I show up. And they think they're visible because, that's they themselves have been to that website very often, and have actually have metadata tied to their IP address for that. And then the AI is like, cool, well, they've already looked at this stuff potentially. And so I'm going to show them the same thing again. It's your business. And the AI also wants you to know, I want you to feel good about the conversation too, very often. So if you've mentioned to the AI in the past, specifically ChatGPT in this instance, where it has memory that of all your conversations, it does. So yeah, unless you've purposely turned it off, but by default it is on. Okay, so what it's going to know that it's going to play favorites. That's the problem. It's going to know that it's your business, so it wants you to feel good about it. But another actual customer might ask, hey, who's the most reliable HVAC company near me for an older commercial system with strong recent reviews and weekend availability? Very specific, right? That is a completely different discovery path. This means that one prompt is not enough to audit AI visibility. It's just not. One ChatGPT test proves very, very little. Look, visibility should be tested by topic clusters and customer intent. Different customer journeys expose different competitors. This really does kind of connect well with this wonderful search engine post, by the way, that I saw not too long ago, that basically goes over, here it is. Okay. It really goes over how to measure prompt level visibility in AI search. And I highly recommend people take a look at this as soon as possible, to really understand what is going on. I'll put this in chat, actually. Always good to know that this is actually happening, right? And look, I understand, not everybody understands how to do the search clusters. This goes over a little bit of that, how to go over topic clusters. Um, TAF Solutions, we do have a uh, wonderful agentic AI that does go through this process of discovering visibility. It is called Search AI. Is something that we use in our uh, digital presence platform that is powered by Bird Eye, and we definitively have the solution to figuring out where you measure up, and better yet, what recommendations can be made to make it better for you to show up on AI visibility. So if you're interested in that, guys, do contact us, TAF Solutions. We are TAF. We are TAF.com. Go there, submit a wonderful, forum for us to come and talk to you about it. That being said, honestly, we got to stop asking, do I rank on AI, and start asking a much better question, to be honest with you. Under what circumstances does AI recognize me? Okay. So here's the thing. I mentioned earlier something about zero-click behavior, right? Or zero-click search specifically. Before anybody hears all this and says, okay, so Google is dead, no, absolutely it is not, right? And I don't think I've made it sound that way, but I want to make sure people understand. Google remains central, but it's kind of how people are using it that has definitely changed. I think we all know that AI overviews summarizes research. There's a lot of people who go with the overview, period. They don't look anywhere else. A lot of people get answers without clicking on any links. Is the point. That is what zero-click search and zero-click behavior is. So let's talk about this. So we got people who do a search, right? And they don't have to click on a link to get what they need, or at least what they think they need, right? So right now, status is this. People get answers without clicking, like I said. AI overviews summarize research, right? Local packs resolve intent quickly. So like, if you show up on the map pack, you show up real fast, don't you? That will resolve the intent. And then of course, maps provide phone directions and hours, right? And the reviews can settle a decision before the website visit, period. So all of that can happen immediately within, a few seconds, very often minutes, because people are just looking casually, right? So the customer will probably still find you through Google without ever becoming website traffic. They'll never go to your website sometimes. This is why traffic alone is no longer enough. Branded search matters. You actually need to have branded search. You can't advertise your way out of this problem. Phone calls matter too. Map actions matter a whole lot. Profile engagement matters. Mentions and citations matters. Guys, having your information scroll by on your Google Business profile matters more than ever now. Than ever. This is important because business owners will sometimes look at traffic, right, and assume visibility is just disappearing, when really the customer journey may have changed. That doesn't mean lost clicks don't matter. It means we need to measure more than clicks. Clip that. I'm talking to my agentic AI, by the way, when I say that. Gotta love them shorts. Now, here's the thing, for YouTube and stuff. TikTok, the whole 9 yards. Google confirmed it is investigating reports of missing reviews, by the way. That is something very interesting in early July that we found out that there was an issue, that with reviews being just disappearing. This is not unique to just July, though. I mean, these things have happened for a very long time. Here's a reminder that maybe less future. Well, this is a reminder, basically, then that that may be a little less futuristic, but is probably more immediately painful for local businesses. Your reputation belongs to your business. but the platform displaying it belongs to someone else. We'll talk about that a little bit more, but reviews are critical trust assets, like I mentioned. Platforms are not infallible. Bugs do happen. Never rely on memory alone, effectively, right? And what I mean by that is, like, you can have all this stuff. You can build it out through Google, and it can go away by the whims of Google. Sometimes they may even be like, oh, you did something I don't like on your post, and so now your account has been suspended. Well, if you have 500 reviews on your Google My Business Profile account, and your account's suspended, no one can see those reviews. So it's gone. So what's the solution? Well, you're going to need to get that account back, right? Unsuspended as soon as possible. You can always try to make a new account, but you don't have 500 reviews anymore. And nowadays, by the way, Google's probably going to be like, well, use this email address or use the same name for another account. We're not going to allow you to do that. So that's becoming more and more prevalent, by the way. So the real question is, you need to make sure that you're playing by the rules, know what the rules are, sure, but at the same time, don't let everything just live on Google My Business Profile. Document your review growth, make case studies, show those receipts on your actual website, right? Export or report on reputation trends, stuff like that. These are all things you can do to help mitigate losing the data. And also, obviously, also trying to maintain a customer communication outside a single platform. So don't let it just live on Google. Fortunately, there's tons of things out there that allow you to do this. CRMs are definitely great options for that. And of course, the digital presence platform that we have does have the capability of doing that exact same thing as well through email, and of course through text message through the platform that we have. All right, so you can obviously do. There's many ways to do this. Just mentioning the ones that might be most beneficial. Now, your reputation belongs to your business, but the platform displaying it belongs to somebody else. I think that is super important that people understand that you should use the platforms, but don't let your entire relationship with your customers exist inside platforms that you do not control. So that summarization being said, let's do a quick digital presence update. We're going to rattle off some updates on some of the things that have been happening. Okay. Update number 1, measuring AI visibility is becoming more sophisticated. Search Engine Land's recent guidance on prompt level visibility argues that a business cannot measure AI presence with one query or one rank. Instead, visibility should be evaluated across prompts, topics, customer journeys, citations, sentiment, and recurring patterns. Effectively translated, the equivalent of a keyword ranking report for AI is probably going to look more like a visibility map than a position number. Update number 2, ChatGPT reasoning depth changes citations, like we mentioned. Only 25.6% of cited domains overlapped in one recent analysis, comparing lower and higher reasoning ChatGPT runs. Translated, that means businesses need depth of authority, not one trick that gets them mentioned once. Guys, it's really simple. Service pages. Make a service page for every single one of your services. Original data. Guys, take your own pictures. Don't just use the stock imagery that's very much available out there. It's a lot of it for free nowadays, right? But you still need to grab your phone, take some pictures, upload them to your website, upload them to your social media posts, put them on your Google. Post to your Google Business Profile. You can do that. I would highly recommend doing that. Gain local authority by simply joining your chambers of commerce, getting listed on their websites, go to networking events, get seen. That's what you need to do. Believe it or not, all of that actually makes a difference to your digital presence as well. Reviews. Guys, so easy. Get reviews. Credible mentions on websites, or even better, social media posts, stuff like that. People are like, yeah, they did a good job. Expert content. Guys, if you provide a service and your service is very much technically oriented, it doesn't have to be like in tech. It can be pest control, right? It could be something that requires knowledge in order to actually do, right? You can actually get that knowledge out there. People will trust you based off of the actual accurate information that you give, and it'll be deserved trust. You know, you don't have to fake it. You don't have to lie. Definitely don't do that. And more important, and the last one is, of course, clear business information. You need to actually have clear business information across the internet. All the things I just mentioned are 100% looked at by artificial intelligence and all the algorithms, which are basically the same thing these days, that exists for every one of these search engines. Okay. And LLMs at this point. Update number 3. Google spam enforcement continues. Guess what? Google's June 2026 spam update rolled out globally and completed on June 26th. What that translates into is Google continues trying to reduce manipulation. The long-term play remains building something real. That's what you need to do. So avoid mass junk content, avoid fake reputation signals. Please don't buy reviews. Don't work. Going to get your account terminated. And guess what? You're going to lose trust of all the people that want to do business with you. Avoid shortcuts. You will not build a digital presence in 30 days. It doesn't happen. You will start being noticed online 90 days. That's right. Most of our clients start being seen in 90 days with digital presence platform that we offer. That's how long it takes. And we know what we're doing. So focus, guys, on useful content and actual expertise. It is so easy to actually make the content because you're doing what you know. You're saying what you know. This is not a trick question. It's not a test. You're not going to fail. You're saying what you know. So just say it. If you can say it in a conversation to somebody else, you can say it in front of a camera. Just do it. I promise you it will make a difference. Update number 4. AI referrals can be smaller in volume but stronger in intent. Search Engine Land reported Adobe data showing AI referral traffic to U.S. travel sites grew 194% year over year in May 2026, while those visitors spent 70% longer on sites and bounced 41% less than traditional source visitors. Basically, AI referral traffic may sometimes arrive later in the decision process. Think about that. The AI visitor may be lower volume, but better informed. And actually, this is exactly something that we can also throw our 2 cents in on, because a lot of the clients that I have with TAF Solutions, a lot of our clients really do have a higher amount of time being spent on their website. It's very interesting how that data correlates, and we are getting a lot more data, AI visibility for most of our clients to their website. So what's interesting is they are spending a lot more time on their website, and they're actually getting less visitors. Whereas I know what this article is saying is, we'll get. Let me pull it up real quick, because it's easier to actually see, probably. Yeah, here we go. So, and that's the thing, it's the truth. They are spending 70% longer on site, and they bounce 21% less, but I've also noticed that less people are going to the sites. But they're spending their longer time there. That means that they're probably more informed and have arrived there, and now they're looking for details. It's very interesting. It's very interesting. So, I think the biggest takeaway right now is that online visibility is fragmenting. You can be visible on Google and invisible on ChatGPT. You can appear on one AI response and disappear when the question becomes more specific. You can get fewer clicks, but still receive calls. You can have traffic decline while branded recognition grows. So the question is no longer simply, where do I rank? The better question is, where, when, and why does my business get recognized? Digital presence is becoming less about winning one algorithm and more about creating enough consistent evidence that people and machines both understand who you are and why you matter. And do you deserve to be a part of the conversation? Clip that. This is Joe Wallace with TAP Solutions, helping you make sense of what's changing so you can keep moving forward. Catch you guys in a couple of weeks. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of the month.